The first few track pieces for Orlando's Hollywood Drift Coaster have officially been installed. The teal construction walls continue to take over the Universal theme parks at a rapid pace. The new Hogwarts Castle paint job has fans in an uproar, but are they overreacting? FanFest Nights has officially kicked off over at Universal Studios Hollywood, and Comcast is reporting a 24% increase in theme park revenue thanks to Epic Universe and the effect that it's had on the Orlando resort. All of that and more coming right up on this Universal theme park news update. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Now let's get into it. Track pieces are now being installed very quickly for the Hollywood Drift Coaster currently being built at Universal Studios Florida. Over the last week, several new pieces of track have been installed, and thanks to new aerial images from BioReconstruct on Instagram and X, we're getting a much better look at what's been happening behind the construction walls. In the photos, you can see track pieces now in place for what appears to be the attraction's dual load and unload station. And in the top right of this photo, you can also see more progress being made on the ride's service building. More track and support pieces have also recently been unloaded at a staging site nearby. And I just gotta say, I really like the look of the gray track with the blue supports. I'm glad Universal went with a different color scheme for the Hollywood version of the ride. And I'm curious, what do you guys think about the color choices here? Let me know in the comments below. Either way, we are now fully in the most exciting phase of construction for Universal's new e-ticket coaster. This is the point where we can finally start watching the layout take shape and really visualize what this ride is going to look like. And I know for a while now people have been able to visualize how the track layout is going to be just based off of where the supports are. But I'm not somebody who can just look at supports in the ground and visualize what the track is actually going to look like and what the layout will be. So I'm really excited for this new phase where we can actually see the track now and really start to put together what this track, what this ride is going to be like. And it's kind of crazy to think that this project started just around 9 months ago. That sounds like a long time when you say it out loud, but going from Rip Ride Rocket closing only 9 months ago to this new coaster already starting to have track pieces installed, that's pretty wild. Universal is moving at a rapid pace for this project. The ride is set to open in 2027, but as of right now, they have not given us a more specific opening window beyond that. Like no month, no season, no official opening date revealed just yet. But based on the pace of construction for the Hollywood version of this ride, my personal guess is that Orlando Drift is probably looking at a very late 2027 opening, maybe just in time for the Halloween Horror Nights season, or if not, I wouldn't be shocked if it doesn't open until after HHN either. Also, we gotta get a petition going or something. We can't call this ride Hollywood Drift. There can't be two Hollywood Drifts. There can't be a Hollywood Drift in Florida. It just makes no sense. Can we please call this ride Orlando Drift officially? I'm pretty sure that's what everybody in the industry is going to be calling it. I'm sure fans are going to be calling it that too. So let's just make it official, Universal. Change up the plans. Let's call it Orlando Drift. I think that's the way to go. Universal Orlando's Legacy Store has officially returned to City Walk, taking over the former Epic Universe Preview Center location. The store reopened on April 24th, and this new version is focused on retro Universal merchandise and big photo op sets themed to classic Universal properties like E.T., Jaws, Back to the Future, and of course, Universal Monsters. The old Legacy Store had more of a classy museum-style tribute feel, while this new version goes into a little bit more of a brighter neon color and a retro feel. Inside, one of the biggest changes is that the space where the Epic Universe model used to be is now filled with blind box collectibles and mystery merch. Mystery collectibles have become a huge trend over the last year or so, and it looks like Universal is leaning into it now more than ever. All right, it's time to talk about all of this construction work happening at Universal Studios. I'm going to try to go through it at a little bit more of a rapid pace. That way we can get through it and move on because there is quite a lot going on this week. Let's start off with this castle update. Over at Islands of Adventure, we're starting to see the first visible signs of the Hogwarts Castle refresh. Some scrims have recently come down and it reveals what the new paint job looks like underneath. Some fans have already been saying it looks a little too clean right now, a little bit too polished, but I would hold off on judging it too much for now because this looks like it's still in an early stage of the repainting project. I'm pretty sure we're going to start seeing more work done very soon on weathering, aging, and final theming details. So yeah, to everybody that thinks that this castle is going to look like this moving on, chill out, take a breath, take a breather. It's not looking like this because they want it to look like what the castle is going to look like in the HBO show or whatever else I'm seeing online from the fans. They will be de-aging it. They will get the theming down right. Just give them some time. They still have a couple more weeks in the schedule for this refurb, so they're not quite done yet. And I'm sure by the time I make another Universal News update, we'll be talking about how it looks amazing and they did a great job with theming it. So just chill out for now. I'm sure they're going to get to it very soon. But now it's time to talk about the takeover of teal walls going down at Universal Studios. Before we know it, this is just going to be a wall theme park, but let's get into it. I'm going to move through this quick, but here it is. Across the Universal Orlando parks, scaffolding and teal construction walls are continuing to multiply by the day. Over in Jurassic Park, scaffolding and scrims have gone up around Jurassic Outfitters, which is the gift shop connected to the exit of the Jurassic Park River Adventure ride. That shop has remained open during River Adventure's year-long refurbishment, and the store is still open now, even with the scaffolding and scrims up in the front store. They are likely updating the front facade of this shop, probably to match whatever aesthetic the new River Adventure has. In the Lost Continent, that area continues to feel like it's shrinking, with more walls now added around the former Poseidon's Fury building. Both major attraction buildings in the Lost Continent area are now completely cut off from the main guest path. And I also just seen right before recording that it looks like some trees and bushes have been taken down in that area too. Over at Universal Studios Florida, those teal construction walls are literally taking over the park. Starting with Finnegan's Restaurant, which is set to be closed for the remainder of the year. From what people have been able to see, the inside has been completely gutted as Universal appears to be rebuilding that restaurant from the ground up. The rumor going around right now is that this project is being done to expand Finnegan's overall footprint, creating a larger space for both the kitchen and the dining area. Also, new walls near the Croissant Moon Bakery in Port of Entry. There's a blocked off section inside Louis' restaurant. And there's also more walls and expanded walls over in the New York area. A new wall has popped up between Minion Cafe and the Tonight Shop. And then in that back corner near the Black Hollywood Drift wall, that teal construction wall has now actually been expanded out even further. There are still two smaller side paths that guests can use to get around it, so it's not fully blocked off, but that whole corner now is definitely much more closed in. And then even the bathrooms near the Universal Studios exit are now blocked off with teal refurbishment walls. I think that's it for my teal wall update of the week, but I'm sure we got more coming next time, so stay tuned on that. One more construction-related update for you. The front entrance building at Universal Studios Florida is just about finished with its repaint job. The former pink color is now changed over to white, and while this has been a pretty slow-moving project, it looks like it's finally nearing completion. Universal's Mega Movie Parade is returning to Universal Studios Florida on May 23rd, and it's scheduled to run through August 23rd. This is Universal's big daytime parade that celebrates some of their most iconic movies and franchises, with floats, characters, dancers, and music. From properties like Back to the Future, Jaws, Ghostbusters, E.T., Jurassic World, Trolls, Minions, and more. The parade usually runs once daily, usually around 6 p.m. when the park stays open late, or at 2 p.m. when the park is going to be closing earlier. Definitely check the Universal app before your visit because showtimes can always change depending on the day. Over at Universal Studios Hollywood, FanFest Nights has officially kicked off for its second season, and it's running from April 23rd through May 16th. And if you're not familiar, FanFest Nights is Universal's separately ticketed after-hours event where they celebrate different fan-favorite IP with limited-time attractions, experiences, shows, food, merch, and more. One of the big headliners this year is the Scooby-Doo and Universal Monsters crossover experience, which is an interactive murder mystery / scavenger hunt that starts on the studio tour and then drops guests off on the Hollywood backlot. There's also a One Piece water show, which has been getting really good reviews. There's immersive walkthrough experiences for Jurassic Park and Harry Potter, plus other offerings tied to Sailor Moon, Super Nintendo World, and Dungeons & Dragons. From what I'm seeing online, it looks like a really fun event. It looks like another slam dunk for them. And honestly, I'm a little upset because I had plans to be there for the opening of this, but unfortunately, I had to cancel my plans. But looking at everything online, it looks like a ton of fun, and anyone that can make it out there, I think it'll be worth it for you. The one thing I will say, I've heard that the lines for the Harry Potter walkthrough experience have gone up to like 2 to 3 hours, which is insane, but it does look like they are offering a really cool experience. I won't get too much into that for this video because it's just a quick news update, but if you're interested, definitely check out Vincent Vision's vlog that he did. That's the one that I watched, and I thought it was really insightful. And I'm just a big fan of Vincent's work. So yeah, definitely check that out if you want to see more from the Universal Fan Fest nights. Comcast just held its latest earnings call. And once again, Epic Universe appears to have become a powerhouse for the Universal brand. According to Comcast, theme park revenue was up about 24% year over year, and executives specifically pointed to Orlando as a major bright spot. They said Epic Universe is helping drive stronger attendance and higher spending across the resort, which is a pretty big deal because that was the overall big picture with opening Epic Universe. They wanted to use Epic Universe to create more of a destination resort for Universal. So now when people are planning trips, it's not just a couple of days at Universal and then the rest is at Disney. Now you're starting to see more and more people are strictly booking Universal vacations. And this all comes at a time where Universal is still watching a few possible challenges up ahead in its future, including some softer performance at the international parks in Osaka and Beijing, plus concerns over travel costs, airfare, gas prices, and how that could affect the busy summer season. But at least now, Comcast says that they are not seeing any major pullback in domestic demand for the US parks. And looking ahead, they're still talking very confidently about the future of the park's business, including the upcoming Universal Park in the UK, the new kids park opening in Texas, and more international projects and future expansions that they have coming up. So overall, the message from Comcast was pretty clear. Epic Universe is already moving the needle for Universal Orlando, but that's really not that big of a surprise because, as we know, Epic Universe is an amazing theme park and it's world-class, it's top-notch, it's high-tech, and it's a destination theme park. If you're a fan of theme parks and you go out of your way to travel to go to these theme parks, anyone in that kind of a mindset will be or has already attended Epic Universe within these next couple of years. That does it for this week's Universal Theme Park News Update. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. And also, I just dropped a new episode of Ride Report. It's about this ride called Phantom Theater at Kings Island. I think you guys will really enjoy this video and find it interesting. I put a lot of time and effort into it. So definitely check that one out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and peace out.